Good afternoon. Welcome to our first In Case You Missed It mini lesson. If you missed the first day of school, you most likely missed us going over Readers and Writers Workshop procedures. Our classroom is divided into 3 segments. The first segment is a mini lesson that lasts about 10 minutes. During this time, we all come up together to the workshop area with our necessary supplies. This usually includes what we're reading or our writer's notebook and something to write with. During this time, it is extremely important that students listen and learn as the teacher discusses a strategy or reading and writing pieces. This is not a time for students to ask questions. Because the time is so short, you really need to focus on the strategy being presented. Please hold your questions until the end of the mini lesson or during your independent work time. The last part of the mini lesson will have students setting a goal for that day as they go off to work. This is something you may not have done in the past, but will help us as teachers help you grow as readers and writers. The bulk of our class time then is spent with independent work. This is where students work on their reading and their writing. It may depend on the goal they set as to what they're doing during this time. A few very infrequent times, we may direct what happens during this work time. For example, if we all need to read the same short story, we may use a partner strategy to read that story instead of doing our work independently. But for the most part, this will be your time to work on your goals. During this time, the teachers will conference with individual students or small groups of students so that we can help you be the best reader and writer you can be. The last few minutes of our time together is a share time. This is when we'll celebrate some of the things we've done that day or note anything interesting we've come across in our reading or our writing. Another thing you may have missed if you missed the first day is a pre-test. In our pre-test, we read a story, answered a few questions, and then had a short writing assignment. Your teacher may not ask you to retake the pre-test when you come back to school. However, you do need this story by Annie Dillard from the collection called An American Childhood. This is our first mentor text, and we'll talk about mentor text later. But you need a copy of this story for your writing folder to use as we get into memoir writing. We hope to see you on day 2. Have a great evening.